Scrappy friends, a big welcome to my channel today. Melinda here with you, and I am sharing another design team process video with you for the Traci Reed Designs team. Today's post is for our Ways to Work It Wednesday, and today it's all about stars. And now I don't know what happened to my footage, but I did record the first part of this and now I can't find it. But what I've got here, this is a sheet of Vicky Bouton mixed media paper, which if you've been following on my channel, you know I don't love. But I knew that what was going to be seen was going to be covered up, so I'm just going to run with it because I know that it takes water and product really well without warping, and that I don't need to use gesso. But you can see I have penciled in a star shape and it's got lines along it. I used my Cameo to do that. I've also used the same cut file minus the lines to cut out the star from the center of a pattern paper that I printed from the collection. The collection that I'm working with today is mostly the Happy Day collection. And so they like the 2 pages line up exactly in the same place. But I wanted to do a rainbow of colours in a star with stars in the background and then stars on top of the stars. You will see what I mean as the page comes together, but you can see I'm using my Distress Oxide straight over the texture paste that I've used there. The texture paste that I've used is the paper paste by Prima Marketing. I love this stuff. It takes colour really well. And it holds its shape really well. It's really easy to work with as well. I just said well about 16 times. So you can see all I'm doing with my Distress Oxide ink pads there is swiping them straight across the colour, getting a wet paintbrush and wetting the colour to make it a watercolour, and just watercolouring straight painty lines across this star where those lines are. What you just saw me do there, I had got some of the wrong colour in the wrong area. I just wet it with some clean water, used a paper towel and dabbed it up, and you can hardly see where the wrong colour was at all, which is awesome. One of the good things about using either really good quality thick cardstock or using gesso. So I've got my colours there all painted. The Distress Oxide colours I've used from pink to the blue is Spun Sugar, Candied Apple. I end up using 2 colours for the orange, which is Spiced Marmalade and Tattered Rose, which you'll see in just a minute. Mustard Seed for the yellow, Lucky Clover for the green, Tumbled Glass for the light blue, and Prize Ribbon for the darker blue. So you can see I've got my little tray here of stars that I've punched out. I have used the Traveller's Notebook solids from the Happy Birthday collection. They've got this awesome fun glitter printed on them, and I thought that would be fun to include on this page. And you can see I've also got my little star punch here. For the bigger stars, it's a 1-inch punch, and it's the Epiphany Crafts one. A number of years ago they were all the rage. They had the punch for the shape, but then you could get the epoxy domes to stick on top. It's one of those ones. Obviously I've just used the punch. So here I've started sticking my stars down. All of the stars are on foam dots, and I've gone to do the orange, and I'm like, oh, it's really too, it's pumpkin orange, and this is more of like a pastel orange. So I pulled out my little swatch book, and I thought Tattered Rose it felt right, so I've mushed my Tattered Rose ink pad on my glass mat, that's the word, and I've just painted that over the top. So you can see I've gone through, I've added all of my stars, they're all on pop dots. Now I didn't wait properly for the orange to dry. It doesn't cause me too many problems in the end, but I do recommend that you wait thoroughly for the paint to dry in the background before you start sticking things to it, otherwise it won't stick particularly well. This is the background sheet that I'm working on. You can see I've had my star cut out. I've obviously also got that star popped aside that I can use on something else. I'm using a Faber-Castell Pitt marker, 0.5, this one is. And I started by doing just a single line outline on the star, and then I'm doing obviously the edge as well, and I decided that I needed a double. So I'm going to do a double on the outside of the page and also around the star. So I'm going to go back and do that second line now. I'm quite happy with it not being straight. If you've been following me for a while, you know that it's not very often that I do line things up perfectly. I'm okay with that. Alright, now because I've got all that dimension with the stars, I did pop up my background here as well, using a combination of Big Mama foam tape and the tabby pop dots from Speed Mum Scraps, still my favourites. And I'm just going to stick this straight over the top of my background. Now that white cardstock in the background, I did trim that down just a tiny bit before I got to sticking, and you can see I'm just sticking that down. I'll flip it over. I can press it all down properly, make sure it's all stuck. I'm really happy with how that's looking. I'm just going to trim off one edge here. It's not quite right, but no one would ever know. There we go. This is why you wait for your stuff to actually be dry before you stick things onto it. Too funny. Alright, so this is a photo that I'm scrapbooking. It is from October last year. My eldest child got an award at the graduation ceremony. He got the Resilience Award. Super proud of him. This kid, I've said it before, faces many challenges, and every single day he shows up, he tries his hardest. We couldn't be prouder of him, and more importantly, he couldn't be prouder of himself for the effort that he puts in. He knows that it can be extra work for him, and that still doesn't stop him. So yes, we were very proud of him. When his teacher read out his name and read out the words that she'd written for him, she got a bit emotional. But yeah, he's come so far in his schooling, in himself. We're super proud of him, and yeah, this page is just documenting and celebrating his success in primary school. So yes. Now I am going to include some journaling. You saw that I did try the idea of using a 4x6 card to mount my photo and to have somewhere for my journaling, but I was like, I'm covering up way too much of that star. So instead I decided I'm going to make a little pocket behind my photo and use this journaling card, and you can see I've cut it into a tag shape, to stick that into the pocket behind my photo for my journaling. It's not hidden journaling as such because it's there, it's only there because I didn't want to cover up too much of my star. I chose this light green pattern to mount my photo on because it's not in that main star, in that rainbow. I've got the darker green, so I thought the lighter green would, and it also, the lighter green also matches actually the gift in his hand, which I thought was really cute. Using my punch here to punch a reinforcer in the same pattern, straight at that 3x4 card. Alright. And what am I doing now? Okay, so I've got some vellum behind my photo as well. Just checking how I'm going to make a little pocket here. Pulled out these stickers. I just wanted to go through, I knew I wanted to add something, but I wasn't sure what, so I chopped most of that out. I've got this yellow label that I'm going to use at the top and the bottom of my photo layers. I knew that I wanted to make sure that I had all of this sorted before I built my pocket. I'm just sticking that to the bottom and then again to the top. Doesn't matter that it's not cut straight. And my little pocket is ready to go. So I tried to do it once, it didn't work properly, so now I left this bit in because I think it's really, this product is amazing. It's called Undo Glue. It's by Yoo-Hoo Glue. Highly recommend it. It doesn't do any damage or anything to anything else. You can see my green card is still there, and there's, like, I didn't have to reprint it. It hasn't warped the paper. It hasn't made the print run or anything. This stuff is the bomb. I love it. So what I ended up doing was trimming down tiny skinny little strips of thin card, and I end up doing 2 or 3 layers, I can't remember, and I'm just going to build those up on the 3 sides, and you can see my tag fits beautifully in there. I'm going to stick it all together. Alright. So make sure that's all right. Make sure you can't see. Make sure you can't see any of the sides. And I'm happy with that. So you can see this is where I got to. I did turn my camera off. I had to walk away last night, and I've come back. I've done some embellishing. I wasn't 100% certain where I wanted to go with this. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like tone on tone or not, but you can see that I pretty much have. I'm going to roll with that title, You're a Star. I thought that plays right into the theme of ways to work at Wednesday with the stars. And then from there, I've built a little cluster around that. Again, you can see I've gone tone on tone. That banner is obviously green. It's going on the green section. The only difference is the You're a Star, the title, is that lighter limey kind of green colour. And that's obviously not on the green section. But I wanted those bits to kind of stand out a bit more. And then I've got the light blue flower, the yellow flower, and the 2 darker blue flowers as well. And you can see I'm just building my cluster from my photo down. Then I can stick my photo onto my background. I've also added the stitching around my photo in black thread, just to make that stand out a bit more. It's kind of the same as what I've done on my background, but I wanted my photo to be more obvious. So you can see I'm just adding glue and sticking all my bits together. Now I'm going to stick my photo to my background. Off camera, I will stick the top cluster as well. So you can see I've got a pink and a red flower up there, and then a pink and a red word strip. I need to add my journaling. I'll probably add some twine into my tag as well. I think it'll probably be black and white. Making sure that's all stuck down. I'm going to add my date up to the top left where that little cluster is. And then I'm actually going to cover my photo up and add some black splatters. As usual, I'm using my black India ink here. I'm quite happy for it to go over the top of the tag and on top of all those layers. And there is my finished page. This was a super fun layout to create. Stars is actually my favourite shape. I have a tattoo on my foot that has stars on it as well. I thought about using that as inspiration, but I ended up going with this instead. Make sure you head over to the Traci Reed blog to check out all of the other girls that have played along this week. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, please make sure you pop them below. As always, thank you ever so much for stopping by and choosing to spend your scrappy time with me. I will see you in my next video. Have a fantastic scrappy day.